Hey guys, so as you know, I am somewhat of a prepper. Sometimes it depends, more times than other, but the last 2 years I've been more of a prepper than ever, just in case. And a prepper is just a person who remains prepared, who buys things just in case, like the usual first aid kit, canned food, whatever. So I want to show you some top 20 things, I'm guessing, estimated. And every day I really just sit down and ask myself and talk to God. I'm like, what should I vlog today? And he just told me this. So I'm like, okay. So for some reason, I'm guided today to tell you this is what you need in your preparation shelf, your preparation kit, the essentials that most people overlook and forget. And I picked some essentials, but I also picked things that people really don't think about. People really just forget when they're at the local Walmart or the local Home Depot, and they just need to get something that they forget, like, so this first thing is actually a aluminum blanket. And I didn't really consider this before, but then I'm like, my air/heater totally went off on me when it just first started getting cold this winter. And the motor part was delayed due to the world situation, right? Everything's now delayed. So I had to wait like an extra 3 or 4 or 5 days, right? And thankfully I was okay and bundled up, but I had to dress pretty warmly. And I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming, so it doesn't hurt to have one of these, okay? It's very noisy, so I'm not going to open it, but it's just basically you can open it up and it's like a blanket, but it's super thin, but it's like foily. It's like tin foily material, but it's better. It's like softer and it's thinner and it's more flexible and it doesn't rip as easy as foil. So that you need in your first aid kit. They usually come in a first aid kit all folded up, but it's all wrinkled and unfolded 100 times over by now. But you never know when you're like camping or out in a forest and it's cold, and this will actually warm you up much better, more efficiently than a real blanket, because it traps in your body heat and it cannot escape from this material. It can escape through the cloth of a blanket. Like if you see, for example, my blanket, my towel, even if you use a towel, you can actually see holes through it, and air and ventilation, like this, for example, you would, like, let's say you grow bread or yeast, like that would be more efficient than this. This would still work, and it still works when you're cold and you need to. What are you licking, dude? No. Oh my god, my dog is licking like a spot on the thing. By the way, sorry, today's upload for my ASMR channel is late. It's currently still processing because it's a 2.5 hour long video. Yes, I said 2.5 hour long video. You heard that correctly. Okay, so people ask if there's like 8 of me. No, there's just 1 of me and my evil twin. Just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Moving on. So you also need a canteen, okay? And people overlook this as well. Like if you just need to quickly go from your home, you just never know. Water, right? Just water. And how are you going to store it where it just stays fresh and it stays cold or warm based on what you need, right? So this. And I would even advise getting multiple of these. Make sure it has like this hook thingy. You can hook it on somewhere. Make sure it's thin. People are like, oh yeah, I get like this manly guys, or get like these big jugs like this. I'm like, how are you going to carry that if you need to go quickly in an emergency? So get a thin, flimsy one, but not too small, large enough to where it can store a day's worth of water. This is for an emergency. Like this is about how much for emergency that you could drink, maybe even half of it if you stretch it. Okay, so get you one of those. Not just a water bottle. The plastic and heat will make the water so bad, and it's so bad for you. make sure you get like jars or containers of dried pasta. Like don't just keep it in the cardboard, because that will ask for like little bugs or mites or whatever they're called. They can go through those. It doesn't preserve as long. Those Barilla blue cardboard containers. Glass. It will stay for like ever, okay? It's like impossible to escape this type of container. Any oxygen in the air. The only thing that sucks is if you drop it, it can break, versus a cardboard, it doesn't. So that's at your disclosure. What you can do to preserve the glass is to duct tape all over and just label it pasta. If you really are a prepper, okay? But have multiple of these and just slowly stack them, like start like putting like from every meal, you could put like a scoop toward these jars and like get a huge jar. Well, not that big. Again, you want to be able to carry it for an emergency. So that's filling as well, and do the same with rice and mashed potato mix, right? Like you might not have milk and butter, but you could still mix it with water and make like a really low quality mashed potato, but it's still filling, right? In case you need to just like, I don't know, you're stranded somewhere, if you ever prepare for like a camping trip, perhaps you might need to know this stuff, right? This is like Basics 101, or there's just no way for you to like get food. I don't know, whatever. If you live out like in the middle of nowhere like I do and your car breaks down, or you just have no money to fix it, or you just need like, you never know. Like in life, all things come through, right? And you're hungry and you just need a quick meal, right? And you don't have food at home or whatever. Yeah, I don't know your situation. Like I've met many people who've lived on like farmlands and faraway places and spaces, and it takes too long to get help in an emergency situation like that, and it's a blizzard outside and there's no way to get the food for the night, and you're just starving and you need to have this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like life, anything happen. Always have some food at home if you can, okay? So, but yeah, even if you go on, like I said, a camping trip and there's just no other way, and maybe like someone was bad and like, I don't know, anything can happen, okay? That made no sense whatsoever. In my head it made sense, but it didn't make sense coming out of my mouth. A fire extinguisher. People forget this. They sell them in like Lowe's, Aaron's, whatever. And this is just one kind of use. It's rechargeable. I'm not sure how, but this is a 4-pound unit, and it's effective. Just pull the pin and go. And you never know, you're cooking, you forget the food on the stovetop in the oven, or something and the electrical goes wrong, and you just need this, because when you mix water and electric, that does not work. That makes it worse. So you need this to properly extinguish it, right? People don't know that. They think, oh, I just fill a bowl of water from my sink, and then before they know it, it gets worse. So it's like you need this to properly extinguish a flame, okay? And that's with any situation, with anything. You're out camping or something, always have this on you as well. Doesn't even hurt, honestly, to have it in your car, probably. You just never know. Another thing is this power bank. It actually charges your phone, like in case there's no power, there's a blackout or something like that. This will actually, it's a fast portable charger. So you see, you connect it to your phone, it will actually charge the phone, all right? So it's something that people didn't even probably know. It's a portable power, and like basically you can just charge this and then like use it to keep your phone alive. It's very effective for if there's no power. So I would definitely, if you go out on a camping trip, for example, I keep saying camping trip, but you know what I mean? Like it could be anything. I mean, any situation. It could just be as simple as like the power goes out, there's a major storm like we recently had, not us, but like in the United States of America. You guys had a huge snowstorm, like 33 inches and minus 59 degrees. Like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. And the climate's only going to get more drastic and extreme, so you never know. A good book. And make sure it's long, not just like a thin one. I just picked a book out of random, but a good book. You never know. You're just maybe stranded somewhere waiting for help. You're bored. You need to calm your mind and relax your mind. And people overlook this all the time. Your phone's not working. It's dead. You don't have one of these to save you. So or you need to keep your phone alive and not use it, like there's a book app on there, and you want to like wait for emergency services to call you back to check in on where you might be. Let's say your car's stranded in the snow out in the middle of nowhere, 40 minutes from home, and you have no way of contact, so you have to keep your phone alive. So how do you keep yourself entertained? You usually flip your phone. Well, you can flip through a book, and it calms your nerves at the same time and gets your mind off the emergency situation you might be experiencing. See, if there's a power outage, you know, a book is like old-fashioned, same way of entertaining yourself. So often overlooked as well. I'm sure most people have a book in their home, but make sure it's a big, long book, especially if it happens for days that like there's just days of like no light. And, you know, people can't imagine life how it was in the 1700s, right? Like just candlelight, you know, but they made it possible, and you can too, but you have to be prepared. Nowadays, we're at least prepared for that kind of situation. Back then, they were more prepared because they already had all the stuff they needed. They didn't even use that much stuff to begin with. So again, really go around your home, maybe watch this video, make a list, maybe like, okay, Tony was right, maybe last time with the gold and silver and the cash, remember? I was right, I told you I'm psychic for a reason. I don't do tarot for nothing, okay? Not to boast, but seriously. And maybe next time you go to the local store, you could just be like, okay, you know, he recommended this and this. I didn't actually have a fire extinguisher. I didn't actually have a decent book, you know, that could entertain me. I didn't actually have an emergency blanket, you know? So little things add up over time. You don't have to go crazy or panic or anything, but you never know, okay? I just like to have these things at home. They were happen to be at home anyway, so I recommend these things. Some light bulbs. So light bulb is kind of dumb, like if there's no power, but like if you have a, and not exactly this light bulb, there's like those miniature light bulbs. I just couldn't find them right now, but I know I have them somewhere. Like for my Himalayan salt lamp, and you have a generator, you could plug that in, but the light bulb goes out and now you're screwed because you forgot to get light bulbs, right? Often overlooked. People are so busy and focused on getting lighters and candles that they forget this, which I'm getting into next. But get one for this also if you have like a generator that has a light on it. Maybe that's your source of light. Like usually some generators, don't they have like a little light bulb that needs changing? Like the other day, the light bulb totally went out in the freezer. I'm like, oh, you know, but thank God we have power, right? But at the same time, you know, there's many machines and little parts that need their own bulbs, and you can just unscrew them, open them up, and replace the bulbs. And so that's why I say light bulbs. Okay. And there's portable like carriers, like lanterns that require light bulbs. So make sure you have light bulbs, regardless of the power going up or not. You just never know. Okay? People overlook this as well. Brita filters. They're like, oh, buy water bottles. Buy canteens. Yes, but this. Okay? Because this does not require the purchase of a water bottle. Someone has to make and design that water bottle and ship it to you and purify it. This does it from home. You just have one Brita pitcher. I've had this for now almost 5 years. Yeah. Not this, but I'm saying like the pitcher, and I replaced the filters. Speaking of which, I gotta replace one of them soon. But I have literally 3 of these at home. I know they're expensive, but I have at least 1 or 2 at all times. Each filter lasts 2 months, more like 1 month because I'm a frequent water drinker. It reduces chlorine, mercury, and copper and more. So there's 4 filters in one. Again, pretty costly, but you know, you get multiple boxes of these as much as you can afford. And just, you know what, even if you have to just put it on a credit card and just minimum pay, honestly, because in an emergency, you know, it's good to have these things. And now more than ever, people are aware, like, okay, you know, I really needed these things that people were telling me, you know, and I keep seeing YouTubers like talking about like prepping and stuff. And so it's a very interesting subject. You know, I like listening to, lately I've been listening to someone else. Her name's SC Prepper. I really like her. She's been talking about that subject lately. I recommended Alaskan Granny at one point, but there's someone else. I think his name is like Ice Age Farmer. Like really interesting people like that I just listen to just in my free time from time to time just to see like what they have to say, because I don't know. Like one of them is actually a farmer, you know, so it's very good to get some advice from these people, because you just never know. Like nowadays, again, my biggest concern is the climate, and I live in a high risk flood zone. Like actually, statistically, unfortunately, I can't say where I live, but my town, of all the towns in the United States of America, think about how many cities and towns there are. Number 1, highest risk flood zone. It's the first to go, actually, if the waters rise up, you know. So I'm like, oh, snap. So, and you know, I live in a kind of area where people are those kind of people, like preppers and stuff like that, you know, so it's like good to just stay prepared. So I have a first aid kit here. I actually have 3 first aid kits because each first aid kit is so different. This one's actually from Russia and it's different. So you need like numerous different types of first aid kits, and not just small ones, not just measly ones. You know, don't be cheap when it comes to your preparation, because you might need to use this for a year plus. So you always want to stay prepared. So this one happens to have band-aids. Look what this has. Do you know what this is? I've been planning for years, guys. I felt something. When God speaks to you, you know, you gotta listen. You gotta be like, okay. Oh, you can't see it clearly because of the light. Oh, there we go. Follow the light. I know that's annoying, but every time you maneuver this, see that? It turns on a light for you. So you don't need any batteries. You don't need a light bulb replacement. You need energy, and that is the flick of the wrist, okay? So this is very helpful to have it even as a handle, okay? So you don't drop it in the mud or something if you're outside. Alcohol prep pads for cleaning, disinfection, antiseptic pads as well, sting relief pads, tapes, pins, scissors, hand cleaning wipes, Q-tips, these bundled things, which I took first aid actually because I had to legally for massage therapy, so I know exactly how to use that in case of a wound. Pincer tweezers, okay, measuring and blades, a whistle you may need to call, okay, that probably freaked my dog out. I should not even bother doing that. But this is just one kit of many I have, which has different types of things. Like this kit has its own type of things, another kit has its own type of things, another kit has its own type of things, another kit has its own type of things, etc. So make sure you just have as much as a variety as possible. And especially if you live with family members and you have children of your own or just animals as well, you know, make sure you are equipped to have that as well. Actually, that's a good idea. I should get like a pet kit as well. That would be a good idea for like animals, like dogs and stuff. I do actually have some things, like I have one for my bird that immediately stops, like if she gets punctured or something, you put it, it's like, it looks like a silver Q-tip, and you put it up and it just heals right away. It's amazing. I don't know how that works. And then there's some septic powder as well for them, and I've done that a million times when, you know, they step on like a thorn outside or something, and just a miracle. So let me keep going. Real quick, guys, this is another basic need and essential for life in case of anything that comes up. Basic knowledge of cooking. If you have to take a basic cooking course, please do, so that you know the exact temperature meat needs to be cooked at when food is ready. You know, meat often contains parasites and stuff, so you just definitely want to make sure you know at least the basics, how to cook basic meals, nothing special, okay? Oh, Lord. I got up because I had to go check on my upload, which is taking an eternity. And I didn't realize I was bending my feet like this the whole time. So, like, oh, God, I was so sore and it was so difficult to get up. So I got pillows, so now I'm a little lower, so I can sit my butt on these hard, cold tiles. All right, so here's some of my birds' millet, bird food overall. Not bird food, I'm sorry. Animal food, okay? Make sure you always have extra abundant supply, because bird food is very specific. For example, dog food is very specific. Dogs, they can get away with eating human food, but birds and exotic creatures like lizards, they require specific meals. You can't get that anywhere, especially in an emergency. So make sure you have that plenty. Months ahead, okay? I always have months ahead of worth of animal food. And then when you kind of have an intuitive feeling that you should buy more, always buy more anyway. Trust your intuition, okay? Again, especially if you like are in a high risk zone like me and live in the middle of nowhere like me, okay? So just saying. I never know. Batteries, okay? I don't recommend cheap, you know, really don't be cheap. This is cheap. This is IKEA quality. No offense to IKEA, but their batteries suck. And like the other day, one of my fire alarms kept beeping, and I can't film when a fire alarm beeps. You know, those like beep, every few seconds it goes beep to let you know the battery replaced. And sometimes you're in a situation where just, again, the power goes out and you want to sleep and you don't want to have to hear a beep every few seconds. So make sure you always have one of these batteries, which is a 9-volt battery, okay? Have plenty of them in reserve stash, okay? And also regular batteries, AAA batteries, AA batteries, all kinds of batteries, okay? Goggles, something else overlooked. You want to protect your eyes from damage. If there is a hurricane and there are hurricane force winds or a storm that blows things, that's dangerous. You protect your eyes. You only have one pair, correct? You need to chop down a tree and avoid splinters. Have goggles that cover the sides as well. Chemist goggles. Okay? Any situation, those are just a few examples of why you need goggles at all times. Gloves, any and all type of gloves, gardening gloves, construction gloves, thin gloves like this, medical gloves. It's just common, I don't even need to explain that one. I mean, gloves are essential for protecting your hands, the two tools that you use for literally everything in your life. You want to keep this safe and these safe. Same with your feet. Have some good boots. I don't have them now, but now that I thought of it, I should get some boots. A pen. Do you know why? I'll let you guess. I'll wait. Well, if your phone goes out and you need to write something important someone told you for directions, you're kind of screwed, aren't you? You need to write something down, right? We forgot that we have to write things down sometimes, like addresses that are important, and our phone battery is down because we didn't charge it and the power is out. Yeah, get a pen. Make sure you have a pen with plenty of ink, multiple pens at all times. Or you need to like write down somewhere, like on a tree, like help and then arrow, like where you are, like you're looking for emergency services, you never know. So, I mean, that's just, again, one of many examples. A lighter, multiple of these. Anything I show you, you better have multiple of them, okay? That's pretty common sense as well, why you would need a lighter. Light your tank, light a candle, light something fire to heat it up for warmth and food to cook with. On and on and on I go. Cleaning products. Now, we forget about our cleanliness in any emergency situation, but this will save you with washing the germs from the day. If you just mix it a very small amount with some water and you don't have any soap, get it all in one thing like this. Obviously, you don't wash your hands with this, but in emergency, it works if you just mix it with a lot of water, or just like drip it in a bowl full of water, like a little drop, and just go. And then rinse it with water and be on your way. It's no big deal. Baking soda, I recommend more though for that, just to again protect your skin and not to get too dry. But this will work if you don't have like some bougie Lysol spray, which is like a ridiculous amount of money at the grocery stores nowadays. This is just much cheaper overall and slim, again, pretty easy to carry around, and you just use a little bit on a whatever surface you need to clean. Like you just have like a towel or a cloth on you at all times for washing or rinsing, and then it can wash itself, so it's pretty easy, and let it dry. Candles, all right, tea lights I recommend, or these little small ones. Small, easy, convenient to carry around, but make sure they are not too small so that they can have plenty of lighting in the home. Because if you're all of a sudden having to haul around a bunch of tea lights that are pretty clunky and clumsy, they fall everywhere, and you have to use too many of them to even see or read, in the home, it's just not worth it. So get something like this that creates and casts more of a light. This is something very overlooked. Why do you think I need paper clips? I should say, why do you think you need paper clips? Maybe you're a woman watching, you have long hair, and you don't have your headbands, or you run out, or you lose them. This can hold your hair. There's always a way. This can hold up and dry that towel you just cleaned in the forest, for example. You know, it's like clothespins that can hold up and dry your clothes. You can hold up and dry some meat or something, you know, or food, or this is also good for holding things together, you know, having to like stitch together clothing that just ripped in like a thorn bush, and you can just clip it like that. You know, you can also use this and connect them together. You know how they connect together? You could just make a chain and then hold on like essential things like that are just hanging from your pants and your sides, you know? So paper clips are actually very important, and people overlook that as part of their preparation kit. Tape. You never know when you need to stick things together easily and conveniently. This can have many, many uses, from putting together a ripped page from a book, probably a light bulb. I don't know if I'd recommend that. Goggles that broke. You know, this can put together most anything. Seal that container of pasta, the container of bird food, whatever, your first aid kit. I could go on and on. You know, the glove that just ripped, your blanket, emergency blanket that just ripped. Multiple uses that you can do with tape that is always overlooked and always essential. All kinds of tape. I would say duct tape are probably the best, or electrician's tape as well. Get them all. And again, baking soda or toothpaste. You don't want your teeth rotting and a toothache months down the line. Obviously, so I'm just talking specifically in all situations. So toothpaste is just always an essential need in the home. I'm not referring to anything specific in this video, but thank you for watching. This was just kind of like a guide, and baking soda has over 100 cleaning uses, so you can use it for literally anything. So I would just recommend, instead of cleaning products and toothpaste, if you're just really cheaping it out, then just stick to baking soda. It's no big deal. You know, you can even cook with it, I think, in some instances, or have it a replacement for something else. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me and watching me. Hope this helped in some way, and subscribe and tap the bell if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.